matter how much success I have or how much therapy I do, I have like chronic low self-esteem that comes back in, and I can push it down and let in the good. I'm not like miserable all the time, but yeah, I question people who like me too much because it's like, well, then what's wrong with you?
Wow.
It's strange.
That kills me.
I know, it sucks.
Well, so there is this stereotype, obviously, with comedians that really they're all super insecure. I mean, I've met my fair share of comedians, so I can really shed a little light on it. But obviously, this is your world. What's your take on that? So do you think that most of them
dead
are?
on. I think all of them are. And if you're not, what are you doing this for? Because this is a weird profession that you first of all, having a sense of humor is I believe it is an adaptation to get people to like you when you feel like you're inherently unlikable. Yeah. So I don't look the way I want to look. I'm not the status I want to be. So if I become the class clown, people won't pay attention to the fact that I'm whatever, poor, fat, like whatever, like ugly. I think that I developed my sense of humor not because my family's super funny. They are, like, all the things. I have all the things that goes, oh, that person would be funny. But I think my sense of humor really comes from a place of I'm not enough if I don't have an extra talent, an extra gimmick. Right. Like I got to get people to like me by being charming. And I think that's why I like being a nice person. I am a nice person, but and you're a nice person. You're so pretty to be as nice as you are,
sweet.
because you don't need to be. Like when you're that pretty, you don't really need to.
No one thought I was nice a long time ago. I've had to really work on that.
Well, you are, and I can just from even before we began, like I just sense it that you're a kind person, and that's an adaptation because you want love and you want to get it back. So you have to do it. If you don't, so there has to be. I do believe that comedians, when they say they love themselves and have so much bravado, it's a lie to me, or I just don't think they're funny. I just don't think that's possible. Like, speaking of that guy you dated, can I just share this because this is so interesting to me? The comedian that you dated, he's someone that
Should we say his name? I never know.
No,
okay,
because
okay.
I just don't want trouble because we're not talking.
Agreed. By the way, we'll go. Say what you're gonna say.
I love this guy. He is so funny. He is so attractive.
Yes.
I have always had a crush on him. He is always, and one time we made out.
I swear
one
he had
time.
a crush on you too.
Well, that's
you guys did make out. Maybe he
because
told me that.
I forced it. I used to do this thing, Kristin. Because I never waited for boys to kiss me because I just wanted control. I'm like, I'm running things.
Okay.
And so I just remember we were hanging out a ton, and I was like, there must be a vibe here. And I think he was just obliged me. But I used to do this thing, like if I felt like it was like time for us to kiss and the guy wasn't gonna make a move, I remember we were walking down 6th Avenue, and it was like, this is like 2010, maybe. It was forever ago. And I was like, oh my gosh, you know what I forgot to tell you? And he's like, what? I'm like, we should make out. Like, I would
love you.
I would just say it casually.
I want to do that.
It's fun. If anyone out there listening wants a good icebreaker of like,
I love this.
because then they laugh and then you're like, okay, I guess we should. And it's not just like I was like leaning in and having a weird rejection. They can kind of just go, I don't know if that's a good idea. And then maybe that's an easier. So I think we made out for like 2 seconds. And, me back then, this was like right before I quit drinking too. So I was just the biggest mess that I could have been. And I used to just like fantasize about what this would be. I thought that kiss, I'm like, we're going to be boyfriend and girlfriend. And then
married.
It definitely wasn't that. And to no fault of his, it was just, that wasn't the vibe. And he should not have liked me. I was a mess. And then throughout the years, we would become friends again. And then there's a couple guys in my life that I really can't be friends with because they're dreamy and I start to just kind of like have crushes on them. I just know my boundary. Like,
Smart.
and I just will always like them more than friends.
Yeah.
Not always, because I'm like in a relationship, but I'm sorry. Like, even in a relationship, you can have crushes and I don't need that messing up my life. And I just, even though I was single, so the last time this guy, 10 years after that kiss, we started hanging out again and I was kind of rebounding from a relationship, and he was fresh out of something with you.
Oh.
The one thing with you.
Years ago.
Yeah, it's a couple years ago. Yes.
And because we dated for like 5-6 months, and it was like, he was my first, I guess you could say boyfriend after my divorce.
Yeah.
He's actually been the only guy I would consider to be like the closest thing to a boyfriend since my divorce. And I mean, I was crazy about him. He was the perfect guy to date post-divorce because he was so fucking sweet to me. He was funny. He was fun. Like, all my friends loved him. Like, we just had so much fun.
Yeah.
But then I I needed to like really work through my shit because I hadn't yet. So again, timing is everything. It just wasn't the right time.
Right. And that is exactly what it sounded like from his point of view too. There was like no animosity. It was just like heartbreak. But I would talk to him about, and I love you. So I even was like, oh, I'm gonna be the rebound for this guy right after Kristin. Maybe I can still taste her. Like a strawberry wine song. So there was nothing in me that was like, get over her. Like I was just like, oh, I can help. Because he is my friend. And so we would talk about, and I was getting through something too. So it was nice to share about, but it just was, I could just tell it was like still a thing. And so that was the moment. That's when I was like, I can't be and I think he's still very hurt by that because he is just like, what do you mean you can't be friends with me? And I feel like
so you guys are not friends currently.
No, I saw him recently at a show, and there was just I just said I can't. And he would probably have a different story of like, you were really rude and abrupt with me, because I think I was probably hurt by the fact that he didn't want to date me in the way that I wanted to be dated. Yeah. So I'm sure that I'm making it sound like I was just like, I just said I can't be friends. You're too cute. But it was probably me being like, I was probably a little pissy about it. Yeah. So I think he was just offended, and so now we're like not talking, and that kind of sucks because I do like him, but he's too dreamy. He's got to like.
He's one of the most good-looking men on the planet. It's true. I mean, I would literally look at pictures of him and be like, "What the fuck? What the actual fuck?"
It's crazy.